Well, we're holding off on decking for a little bit. I got to figure out what I'm doing with rails, so we're gonna jump inside. You can see we got sheetrock done, painted. Get the floors covered, all the hardwood's all redone, so we can start doing some inside work now. So we got cabinets are at the house. I'm gonna bring them over tomorrow and get those in so we can get ready for templates for the granite, marble, whatever we're putting in. And yeah, so, but before we can set the bathroom cabinet, we gotta get the tile down. The whole house is hardwood except for this new addition that I added on, or newish addition. So we just got to put Hardy down in here. We got our laundry going here, water heater going in that closet, little back entryway, and our bathroom. So we're just using the Hardy backer board, the 1/4 inch. Cut all our pieces in and get them all set where they're at. You need to make sure we leave about an 1/8 inch gap between all the boards. We will then set it down to the ground or to the subfloor and then use the Hardy screws to go in. And then we will mud and tape all the seams in between. Just the correct way to do all this. So I showed these shears when I was doing the siding. I used them for probably the only 2 cuts you saw me do with them. It was just because it's, like I said, it's a jagged, not the straightest cut. But something like this is where it shines, because you don't have to be perfect with putting it down on the floor. I mean, it's all obviously getting covered up. So being inside the house will be nice, having no dust on that. So yeah, but we're gonna jump on that. All right, it's a judgment-free zone. So slammed it in real quick. Not the prettiest, but it's gonna do. Kind of goofy, a lot of corners and walls to go around, so just threw the full pieces in where I could and cut in the rest. Again, we're gonna then set this all down. We're gonna tape the seams and everything, so it'll be, solid. Okay, we got all the Hardy board down. Went ahead and taped the seams, mudded over them. It's a little rough right now, but we can knock that down later. The Go board in, shower. First time using it, I was a little surprised with the sealant. I guess I was expecting it to be a little easier to work with, and maybe you could trowel it off, sponge it off or something. But man, anything that gets to it sticks. So it's more just like a silicone. I guess it's got to be waterproof, but it wasn't the easiest to work with. Didn't smooth out as good as I was hoping it would. But nonetheless, I might do it a little different next time. But we got it on. I feel good about it. I mean, we got it good in the corners. Put it good in our seams everywhere. We put their tape over it. And then, yeah, all down around the bottom. So anyways, that's what we've done today. So I might start opening these cabinets up and see what we got. That's it for tile today. That all just needs to dry. So dishwasher going right there. Range going over there. Then we have the fridge here with a cabinet above it and a side panel. And then let's have these two guys here, and I got a 9-inch cabinet that fits over in the corner there. And then here we'll have a 48-inch vanity, and we did the sink all the way on the right hand side. 48-inch, if you put the sink right in the center, doesn't give you a lot of countertop space for anything. So if you kick the sink all the way to one side, helps out and gives you a lot more countertop over on the left side. Starting on our cabinet install today. First step, we got a real unlevel house. If you've seen any of the old videos, you see I had to jack the whole place up and level it up pretty good. But old house like this, I mean, it was 4 inches plus low on one side, so it's not back to perfectly level, but it's pretty good now. But first thing we're gonna do is we get our laser level out and find the highest point of our room here, or which cabinet will be at the highest, and start from there. We'll shim that up just a little bit, and then to get it level, and then we'll work off of that. So that's what we're doing. So lucky for us, this kitchen cabinet, or the kitchen sink base, is our highest point, and that's the one I want to start with first. Typically you want to start in the corner, work your way out. I don't have a lot of cabinets. Obviously it's a small kitchen, so for me, I can throw this one in right in the middle. To the right of it is a dishwasher, so right away I have a gap, and then just one cabinet over in the corner there. And then to the left of it, I just have one other base cabinet, and then to the side of that is going to be the range. So this one, I don't really need to worry about starting in the corner and, going a long ways with a whole wall of cabinets. So that's what we're going to do. But first thing we got to, and this is not going to be fun by myself, is I have my plumbing lines coming up through the floor. If you can see them. So somehow I've got to cut the holes in the cabinet and get this cabinet lifted up, slid down on top of those, and hit my holes. So we'll see how that goes. But let's get, I'm gonna get it all measured up and get the holes drilled. About these clamps, never used them before. This will be a first time, so this will help pulls the cabinets together. This pulls them together, and then you have this other one that you tighten this way to flush up this seam with this. And then it's got a little spot here for you to drill a pilot hole. And you swing that away, put your screw through. It's kind of wanting to twist it off to the side. I don't really like that at all. You can see it's catching a lot more here than it is here, so it's causing this to just twist. Probably works better if you don't have, I mean, I could flip this, I guess. I don't know if my screw is going to be long enough. Yeah, my screws aren't long enough to get all the way through here to there. They're only long enough to get from here to here. That's a little bit wider than there. So I might just have to use our cushion clamps, which work just fine. We're working on this peninsula here. I've already cut in my filler strip there. Nothing's attached to the walls yet. I attached these two cabinets. I'm just getting them all attached first before I try and get them all positioned right. So gonna get them all attached. I got it pinned together here with some shims, screwed together. Got my gaps right. So I'm not sure if this is quite the correct way to do this because I don't have a back wall that I'm dealing with. So I'm just gonna basically lock them all together as one piece and then try and level them from there. Just make sure they're all flush here, and all around the back. And then I can maybe, once it's all locked together as one piece, I can get it all leveled up. Like I said, I was going to use blocks down here, but I found these out in my trailer. Thought these would be pretty good to use. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put these in the corner here. You got these little screws that we can attach these into the side of the cabinet. They're short enough that they won't poke through. And then we got 3 of these, so we'll put a couple more in these 2 spots here. And nice, we got hardwood floor, so we'll just screw those down to the floor after that. Well, apparently my camera is full, so I can't do any more recording. It's probably the last bit, but I got this last cabinet up. I had already put backing in before, so it wasn't too bad. Took the doors off just to make it easier, and it's nice and light. You can hold it up. Leveled it up as I was holding it up there and screwed it in. Not bad, but I went ahead and bought the tall 40-inch cabinets here. I thought that was pretty nice. They can go all the way to the top. I got just a tiny little trim piece I'll put around there to cover that gap, but I like this a lot better than a lot of people will just do the 30-inch cabinets. You know, they only come to here, and then you're always just left with a big gap up there. You can box that in, frame it out, but it just didn't seem to make any sense. It wasn't a lot more money for the 40-inch. And yeah, so I got screws up top, there's studs right here, and I got backing down there. So there's backing everywhere, so it's holding really well. But that's my only upper in the kitchen. Other than that, we just have, you know, above the fridge, we'll have one, and then that's just gonna be a range hood there. So I thought we were going to have a little room. We might put just some little exposed shelves here or something, but there's really not a lot of room to do much more. But it's just a small house. I mean, it's only 730 square feet. So I think we're deciding we're going to use it as an Airbnb. So that'll be plenty good for that. Well, almost forgot. I had the cabinets for that, so I went ahead and threw those in. Okay, this morning we got some our electrical stuff here. We got our pendant lights. We got a light for above kitchen. We pretty much did can lights everywhere, so we don't really have a lot of anything crazy. I'm not a big fan of, just the little button lights that normally go in the center. I think those are, they don't give off a lot of good light, I don't think, so we opted just to do can lights for this. So bedrooms, can lights, obviously living room, just the can lights. We'll do 2 nice big pendants coming down above the peninsula, just the one there over the sink. The bathroom, we're doing just a couple of sconces around a round mirror, and that's it. It's a small house, so there's not a lot of places to put lighting. So we're gonna get after that, get all our plugs and switches in, and we got countertop guy coming today to template these up. So excited about that. And right after that, we'll be moving on to, I gotta go get some doors, start throwing some trim down. That's gonna take a little bit more time. So yeah, moving along. So we're installing all our outlets, and this one I'm gonna add one of these with the USB-A, USB-C outlet. Just on this peninsula here, it's a good spot where people want to plug in phones or whatever they charge on their laptops and stuff. So it's a good location to leave it here, especially if we're doing an Airbnb. If you don't come with your correct adapter to plug in, then you have a spot. So I'm not doing them everywhere in the house. It's not needed. So we'll just at least give them one location. So that's what we're adding in here. But okay, got the pendant lights in here. They're super dirty. I need to clean that glass, but I think they look pretty good. Got just that light there, and then our sconces. We'll have a round mirror going there with a 4-foot vanity. But yeah, that's really it for the light fixtures. Other than that, it's just can lights. All right, we got a few things happening today. One thing I've losing a little sleep over last night was I'm putting this range in this corner here. And we were getting the countertops template yesterday. And my thought was we have a 30-inch range going right here. I left, just a hair over 30 inches right there. But once I put a backsplash, being the range is in the corner, I'm gonna have to put a backsplash on the side as well. And then I got, a piece of trim baseboard going down here. That's gonna shrink me up and might not be able to slide that range in later. So The only thing I can come up with is, luckily I put this 2-inch filler strip in here. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to remove that filler strip. I'm going to slide that cabinet over tight to give that extra room in the corner, and then I'll just make like a little ledge, and we'll just have like a 2-inch strip of the quartz countertop right there. That way, that just, no matter what, we'll have the room to get the range in and out. I don't like the idea of just a little strip there, but I think it'll finish off a lot better and gives me zero issues on getting the range in and out. So we're gonna do that. Also, I went last night, picked up doors. So we got these shaker style interior doors for the bedrooms and the bathroom, and then I was able to get the same shaker style for the closet, and just got bifolds for those. Then we picked up some stuff to go on the back of here. It's basically this paneling. I'll cut these all down, but it's kind of like a beadboard, but a little wider than your traditional beadboard, which I like a little better. So we'll put those across right there, and then we'll paint them the same color as the cabinets, and everything will just that'll blend nice then. And then we just got a shelf for our closet in there. And another thing, I think we're not real fond of this light. Once we got that in, I mean, it's nice looking, but I just don't know that it really goes. So we picked up this light here that kind of looks more like these pendants out here. So we're gonna get that swapped out as well. See how that looks and see if we like it. I mean, we don't hate that one, but it just seems off. Something's not sitting right about it. So we'll pop this one in, see how it looks. If we like it, we'll keep it. But all right, so that's the plan today. All right, so this is how I ended up doing it. We just carried our line across here, so the countertop will sit here, and then this is the same height, and brought it out just to the back side of this cabinet, so we can literally just take our filler strip from one side, put it to the other. So we'll just attach that right there, and then I jogged it back to replicate the toe kick of the other one, and then when we run our toe kick piece, we'll just put a little piece right there. All right, we got the new one installed. I haven't wired up the switches yet, so I can't turn it on yet, but just taking a look. I think I like it a little bit better. It goes with those pendants, so yeah, we'll see what the wife thinks. But yeah, I think kind of, at least it ties in better so than that one. But whatever I like, usually she goes the opposite. So that's I'm sure I'll be taking that back out soon. So since we're dealing with finished floors here, these doors, they come already raised up about an inch. I don't want that big of a gap when I'm opening the door, or when you're just out in the other room. You'll have a big gap in between, so we don't have any carpet or anything that's going over it. So we're gonna cut that down so that door sits a little closer to the floor. You don't see like the light coming through from other rooms. But also a reason, these doors, when I bought them, the bottom had a little broken spot on them, and all three of them did, and we noticed it right at checkout and got the manager to come over and he gave us half off on all these doors. So pro tip, if you find a little damage, hang around a little while, wait for the manager to show up. the kid at the cash register was going to give us 10%, and he said the manager could do more. So we said, yeah, we'll wait around. And yeah, he gave us half off on all the doors. So I already knew I was cutting them off. But I'll take that. But anyways, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shorten those up. So now you can see we're left with about a 3/8 reveal on the bottom of our door. So that's all. When we set this door jamb down on the floor, that's all we're gonna have is just a little 3/8 there. So these clips come, I'm gonna mount them on this side where the door hangs, but they just have these little screws that just barely go into the jamb, and then you set this up under the door like this. And just put 3 screws here, space it out evenly down the door, do the same on each side, like exact same spot. And then we just slide the door in place. It also helps when you're putting the door in, these catch on the wall and hold it for you. So sometimes you nail a board on the other side temporarily so the door doesn't fall through when you're doing it by yourself. But yeah, we'll go ahead and measure these out and put them on. Hinge side, we'll start first, which is going to be this side. We'll measure in a half of an inch from the stud. And then we'll transfer a level line all the way down. Our most crucial part. Everything's based off of that. For some reason, these provided screws that they come with just want to snap off. Not a fan of that, but you can see we got these little ribs here. Just kind of pick what it's closest to, so we're just halfway between the point of that one and the groove there, and then we'll line this one up, pull it over to where it needs to be, screw that in, and same with down at the bottom. And if you do that, then you should be theoretically perfectly level. This floor is out just a little bit. Should have checked that before. So I'm gonna need to shim this side up so it sits level at the top. I'm gonna put a shim between the jamb there, where the door meets. That way I can have the same reveal all the way down, and then I'll hold it tight to my shim and screw in those spots. Okay, now our door swings. Good. Doesn't rub. doors in our bathroom and our 2 bedrooms. Doors, stop. Well, we're back out here this morning. You saw towards the end of the last video, I was having troubles with the door. I was trying to rip it down to fit in the closet because apparently I did not frame these correctly. So I was about a 1/2 inch too small in each of my doors, and I was trying to, the doors say you can cut a 1/4 inch off of them, and I went a little too far and was trying to cut more off, and there's what happened. My blade trailed on me, sucked into the hollow core part, and I toasted that door. So I pissed and moaned about it all night last night to myself, and I mean, it was just the last door I'm putting in too. So it's just, all it is just this little door here for a water heater. I mean, half of this is getting taken with a water heater. And I was just going to try to make a little closet deal just for someone to come in and kick their shoes off and toss them in here. So of course it's turned into a nightmare. I think what I'm going to have to do is probably just open this up. I was really trying to not tear into the sheetrock, but the only proper way to do it is going to be to open it up and patch around. So went to Lowe's this morning, got another door. So good thing I got a deal on the other ones for being damaged, because I basically just made that a wash now by spending money on another one. So we're going to get trying to figure this out today. I just was here for 9 hours yesterday and was at the end of my rope trying to figure it out. And when you get to that point, you need to just stop and go home and start fresh. So today we're starting fresh. We're going to see if we can figure it out a little better. So I'm just trying to avoid reframing the thing, but I think that's the right thing to do. So, all right, we're going to get after that.